I'm doing it. I'm disconnecting the internet to see what still works in my smart home. I get comments on every video saying, if this guy's internet goes down, he's toast. Well, let's see if that's true. I'm curious to see how reliant I am on these smart home companies in the cloud, like my dashboard's gonna work, the video doorbell, automations, and all that kind of stuff. All right, first let's go into the studio and see what turns on with a motion automation. Whoa, everything turned on and it seems like everything's working fine, which is kind of surprising because I have some Wi-Fi lights, like these LifeX lights in here. Let's see if I can control them individually. All right, so I can turn all the Wi-Fi lights on and off, so that's surprising. Let's see if I can change the color. Yep, there we go. Wi-Fi lights working just fine. So you might be wondering how this is working since these lights use Wi-Fi. Well, I cut the internet, but my local network is still working. That's how I'm able to control the lights, and that's why that automation ran. It still controlled everything because Home Assistant is running locally. But let's test a few more things. Let's see if the Haiku fan is working. Oh, that's working just fine. I wasn't expecting that. Let's change the colors. Everything's changing. Everything's working great. All right, let's try out this smart home dashboard here on my desk and see if it's still working. Okay, it is turning my speakers on and off. So that's great to see that the smart home dashboard and the smart outlet that controls the speakers is working. Okay, so one of the buttons is not working to control the fan underneath the desk. That uses a different kind of smart outlet. It uses the Tuya Smart Life connection into Home Assistant. So that needs a cloud connection, it seems like. The ones that the speakers are using are Casa. So those work perfectly fine offline, especially with Home Assistant. So I'll definitely be buying more of those. All right, the last thing to test in here is this Innovelli red dimmer switch. It did turn on with the automation. I'm able to control it, but I have another automation that if I double click the off button, it runs an automation to turn everything off here in the room. So let's check it out and see if it works. Let's try it one more time. Come on. Oh, dang. I thought that was gonna work. I would have put money that that automation would have worked since this is a Z-Wave smart light switch connected directly to Home Assistant using Z-Wave JS. I thought for sure that would have triggered the automation to work. Very disappointed. I looked at the automation and obviously it's not running. There's an Amazon routine that it calls to turn off some of these Wi-Fi lights that I had set up previously. So of course it doesn't work. Dang it. I was really hoping that this would work, but I guess it's a good example of why not to use something like Amazon to control your smart home, because once the internet is down, nothing's gonna work.
I'm bored. The internet's not working.
Just go play with Legos or something.
Oh.
All right, I'm about to go outside and test the video doorbell. This is a device that I use all the time, especially when packages are delivered. So let's see if I still get a notification if someone's detected on my front porch and if I can see them using the video feed. Let's check it out. Notification, there we go. I'm a little surprised that I got a notification. I hoped it would work, but I wasn't quite sure if it would. That's awesome. Let's see if I can see myself on the video doorbell. Yes, yeah, there's a live feed right now showing me on the video doorbell. So that's awesome. I can get notifications and I can see who's at the door with no internet connection. This is the unified doorbell. It records locally to a hard drive right inside my house. Let's go test to see if the cameras are working as well. It is so hot out here. I don't know if it looks like just everything's on fire. It feels like it is here in Arizona. Let's see. Yeah. Pretty much all the cameras are working. I have Unify and Reolink cameras. I don't know if you can even see that. I'll do a screen recording if it's too bright, but they seem like the live view is working in Home Assistant. So that's pretty sweet. Let's see if I can lock and unlock the door. Okay. I don't know if you can hear that. The lock worked. I'm using HomeKit for the Schlagen Code Plus. All right, here in the backyard, I want to test out the Ratio Smart Sprinkler Controller. Normally, if the internet goes down, it would just continue working like a normal sprinkler controller, like continue on the schedule. But I want to see if I can turn on the drip using the app in Home Assistant. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working, and I'm trying out the Ratio app just to see if I can use that to connect straight to it. Doesn't seem like it's working, so not a good sign. So if Ratio servers went down, I don't think there's really any controls on the Ratio device, so pretty concerning. Yeah, not happy about that. The Tempest weather station also doesn't seem like it's working, and I'm gonna try out one of these smart floodlights. Ooh, also not working, dang. So pretty much everything back here in my backyard is not working. All right, hopefully I have some better luck here in this room. I have some Lutron lights, some Philips Hue Zigbee light strips up there, and some Wiz light strips down there that use Wi-Fi. Let's use the Home Assistant app, run some scenes, and see if all the lights are able to be controlled. All right, I turned everything off. You saw the Wiz lights turn off. Philips Hue are off. All the Lutron lights and some Philips Hue bulbs are also off. We'll turn back on. Yeah, everything seems like it's working. All right, while we're in here, let's see if we can control the lights using a voice assistant. I have some doubts, but yeah, might as well try. Turn off family room lights.
Family room isn't responding. Please check its network connection and power supply.
Yeah, not responding, and the Amazon app, not even loading. Now let's try Siri. Hey Siri, turn off family room lights. Let's see.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info,
Nope.
check the
But the Home app does seem to be working. Like you can control the lights from the Apple Home app. So at least that's working compared to Amazon. Now let's try the Siri shortcut and see if I can talk straight to Home Assistant and if that will work. Turn off family room lights. Hey, that worked. So that's pretty sweet that I can use the Siri shortcut. It will talk straight to Home Assistant and use that voice assistant. So that works completely offline. That's awesome. Oh, good. You guys are playing with Oh, jeez, so dangerous. So there's a couple more things to test here in this room. One is the Ecobee thermostat. You can always control the Ecobee thermostat from the physical device right here, but if I go into Home Assistant, it's not updating. It looks like it's working in the app, but I can't control it and I can't connect to it using the Ecobee app. That's why it's so hot in here, because normally it's running automations to cool things down, and it's not working right now, so that's too bad. The other thing are these lights. These are Philips Hue bulbs and these pendant lights, and the way we control them is with this InnoBelly red on-off switch. So if I press off, it should turn off the lights, and yeah, there it goes, it turned off the lights. And if I press on, it runs an automation, and it should turn on the lights, and it does. So that's working just fine. The last thing is the Roborock vacuum. Let's see if this works. All right, so I'm in the Roborock app and it's just loading. So, bummer. You can't even control it. I guess I would have to use the physical controls on the robot vacuum to start it. Having a local smart home protects your data, so it's not just floating out there for companies to profit off of or falling into the wrong hands. And if you want to protect your data even more, then you'll be interested in today's sponsor, DeleteMe. It's so easy to find someone's phone number, address, age, and more with just a quick Google search. It's because these data brokers sell personal information, and it makes me so mad. Here's the good news. DeleteMe can contact these brokers and tell them to delete your data. I tried it and the process was easy. I first signed up and then I put in my information. Adding this tells DeleteMe experts what to look for and remove. Oh, and if you're wondering, DeleteMe is very dedicated to security and takes extensive steps to protect customers' data. After inputting my info, my work was done, while DeleteMe contacted data brokers on my behalf. A week later, DeleteMe sent me a privacy report showing 72 listings were already removed. They even had links to some of the data brokers, and it's crazy how much information they had. Even my loved ones' names and ages, and this is why keeping your data private matters. It helps protect yourself and family members from stalking and identity theft. Now DeleteMe will work in the background for me all year, removing my data from hundreds of data brokers, and there's no way I could remove all that data on my own. If you want to try it, get 20% off DeleteMe US consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/smarthomesolver and use promo code smarthomesolver at checkout. So before I head into the garage, I just want to check the Ring alarm, which I can control from the keypad, but I do not think is working. Then yeah, the Ring app is just spinning right now, so I cannot control it from the Ring app or probably get any kind of notifications, and it's not connected to Home Assistant right now. That's what I'm using to run some automations, like if my garage door opens from the house, it will turn on the lights in the garage. I do not think that's gonna work, so let's see what happens. Yep, all the lights are off, but let's see if there's other ways to turn on the lights. Let's see. Okay. The topo camera is working and it turned on the garage lights. So the garage lights are working just fine. They're plugged into some Casa smart outlets. Let's see if I can control my garage doors though. All right, I can control it from Home Assistant, and that's using the Meros smart garage controller that's using the HomeKit connection into Home Assistant, so it keeps it all local, so that works great. Let's try the Rat GDO. Hey, Rat GDO, working great. I love that device. Stick it to the man, you know. So all my automations should be working fine with the garage doors right now because they're still connected to Home Assistant. So the garage door is open, and look, the little light is on that lets me know that the garage door is open, so it's working. Okay, what about the Tesla Powerwalls and solar panels that I have? Let's see if those are working right now. No, so the Tesla app says everything's offline, and the data that it's showing is right when I disconnected the internet. It's kind of frozen at that point. But if I go to Home Assistant, yep, everything's working great. It's showing exactly how much solar. You can see that it's updating. The Tesla app does not work without internet, but since I have it connected locally to Home Assistant, it's working just fine. That's crazy. Oh, I forgot to check the backyard shades. Let's see if those are working. Oh, looks like they're working. Bond controls these. Looks like that's working fine offline. So here in the theater room, I have a bunch of smart lights and smart devices and everything like that. And I normally turn everything on by just hitting this TV console right here. It triggers an automation with the vibration sensor. I don't know if it's gonna work because there are some cloud devices and things that it might call. So let's just see. Fail, and I'm gonna have to just manually turn things on like a caveman. Okay, so the automation doesn't work. Let's try out a few devices in the Home Assistant app here in this room and see if I can just manually turn them on. The Denon receiver, hey, that worked. The shades back there, those are the Lutron shades. Those are being controlled here. Nano Leaf. Hey, those are working up there. So pretty much all the devices are working except for the automations because I was using Amazon again to turn on some of these Wi-Fi lights when I originally set it up. Big mistake, but yeah, I can still control everything without the internet in here, and I can still watch movies, so that's totally fine. As I'm going around the house, another thing that's working really well is my dashboard on my phone. So if you saw that video recently, it changes depending on what room I'm in using room presence, and that is working just fine without the internet. And so for all those commenters that said, hey, big data companies and government are tracking you because you're gonna have that as part of your smart home, they can't, and it's working just fine without the internet. All right, I'm heading into my bedroom, and there's an automation that automatically opens up the shades when the motion sensor sees me, so let's see if that works. There it goes. And I like that automation because it adds a little extra natural light in here without turning on the lights, which are more warm, and I have the lights only turn on at night. Let's see if I can turn on the fan. Oh, that's a light. Okay, fan is turning on. That's using the bond bridge that I used with the shades that I showed earlier. All right, let's go check out the bathroom. There's a automation that uses the Philips Hue motion sensor and some Casa smart dimmer switches that use Wi-Fi. So curious to see if those work or not. Let's go see. Okay, lights turned on. The automation worked perfect, and it was just using these Casa smart dimmer switches. These only use Wi-Fi, but they work so well because they connect directly to Home Assistant locally, and that's why I rave about these things. They're so reliable and they're very inexpensive. So if you're looking for inexpensive smart dimmer switches, Casa. Man, those things are awesome. I'm just using a Philips Hue motion sensor over there and some Zigbee light strips down there, and everything works perfect. That was extremely liberating, going around my smart home without an internet connection and seeing what worked and what did not. And surprisingly, a lot of things worked. Like my video doorbell, I couldn't believe I could get a person notification and see the live video feed from Home Assistant. That is just insane. It's all thanks to Home Assistant. It runs locally in my house and all the devices connect to it locally, or most do. We saw some of it that didn't. And for those that did not, like the Tuya ones, I'll probably be replacing those with Casa. Pretty much all the Casa devices worked offline. But it is concerning about the devices that do need an internet connection, because if the company ever went out of business, you're kind of out of luck. And you might be able to still control the physical device, but devices like Ratio, where you can't even do that, you need the app. Yeah, that's pretty concerning. Hopefully this video is helpful to see what devices work well and what do not without the internet. That way you can keep your smart home running smoothly, even if the internet ever does go down or if a company ever goes out of business, to keep that spouse approval factor high. Thanks for watching. Guys, I have great news. The internet's back on.
Yes! Hooray!
So you can do your homework.
What?
Oh, really? Oh, we're still going.